right, what's going on, everyone? So right here I have Gregson from Shifting Lanes and his V60 Polestar.
What's up, everyone?
This thing is super clean. Gregson just got back from the exhaust competition.
Yes.
With a stock exhaust, right?
Bone stock car, actually, yeah. So the whole exhaust comp here is mostly about like what's the tone of your thing, and this thing sounds incredible stock, as Max can tell you. He heard of me rev it earlier, but it's an amazing sounding car because it's got the 6-cylinder engine in it. Not that the 4s don't sound good, but this just sounds better. So I figured, why not? Let's go try to win an exhaust comp with a bone stock Volvo.
And so you're going to do some mods to the exhaust in the future.
Yes.
But you're not going to touch the factory catback, correct?
Correct, yeah, because it sounds good as it is, but you lose sort of that butterfly valve capability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a downpipe for it and just a tune. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do mechanically on the short term, and it'll make it sound better, it'll give it better, just basically better performance overall. And hopefully you can get it into the 12s at the drag strip, and it'll just sound better. I probably would have won the exhaust comp if I had it on now, but yeah, that's it, and it's going to sound really, really good.
Cool. All right, so yeah, tell us a little bit more about the backstory of this car, when you got it, any mods that are coming up in the future, etc.
So this car, it's a 2016 V60 Polestar. There are only 165 V60 Polestars in the United States ever in this year, and about 80, I think, in 2015. So you're looking at, what, 240-ish cars,
yep,
maybe, in the US, and a couple of them have been crashed, so there's even less now. So insanely rare. After this, they went to a 4-cylinder engine, which is a little more common. Still a rare car, but I think 500, 700 made. I have to go look at the numbers, but this car actually came from Washington, and I had it trailered over from Washington to New Jersey. One owner car, got it with about 30,000 miles on it, paid about 35 grand for it. So right now, if you want to look for one of these, it's probably going to be about $45,000, $50,000 just because of how the market's gone crazy over the last couple of years. But as I said, straight 6, transversely mounted, about 345 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. I actually dynoed this the other day, and it would, at the wheels, 313 and 395. So Volvo way underrated this platform and this engine and this whole setup from factory. It's awesome. It's really comfy. It's a super great ride. Everything's just sort of turned up a notch from the R design, and that's why I really like it, because it's an interesting car. It's rare, and it's just a very cool platform and car overall.
Yep. Cool. So you previously had a V70R.
Yes.
It was modded pretty much to the 9s.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about why you sold that car and maybe moved into this one.
So what I do sort of on the side is I have a YouTube channel, it's called Shifting Lanes, and we're big into Volvos, and I was really the Volvoist, and then they kind of followed suit. You know, Hanson and Chad aren't like the biggest Volvo guys in the world. I think they're cool cars, but I love Volvos. I used to watch them back when it was British touring cars, where they brought the 855 to British touring cars. I wanted an S40 when I got out of college because they had the S40 in British touring cars still, but I've always loved them. And so my Volvo history basically was, it started with the whole YouTube thing, and I got a gray V70R from 04. It was an automatic, still sounded great, it was a cool car. But then a really rare magic blue Atacama one came about with a manual M66 transmission, and I'm like, kind of got to buy this. So sold the gray one, bought that one, and just did a whole bunch of YouTube videos for like 2.5, 3 years on it. And we built it. It had block shims, it had a bigger turbo, it had basically everything you could, ported head, refinished head, everything you could humanly want in a V70R without going to a sleeved block, like crazy, insane build. It was a perfect street car. But I had that car at the time, and I also had a supercharged E90 M3. And as you, the Volvo community, know, R's, and probably know about E90 M3s, not the two most reliable cars on earth. So I now have 2 young boys, Everett and Weston, and they needed a more reliable car from Dad than those 2 finicky Euros. So I bought this, and the platform is dead reliable, honestly. There's very few problems with this, and that's the whole reason why I got this in the first place. It's a cool car. I can make videos about it, but also very safe, good for the family, and my kids love it. It's called Daddy's Fast Car, so it's great.
Cool. And you actually kept this kind of under wraps for about a year, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I basically just wanted to drive it and not make any YouTube videos about it, and not just make anything about it, because I felt like with the R towards the end, it was more about oh, well, what video can I make about it, as opposed to just enjoying the car. So I said, nope, we're just gonna enjoy the car. We focused our main channel on OEM reviews and like new car stuff, new car primers, anything like that. Then after that, I was like, all right, let's start a second channel a year later and do it for personal cars and like live stream highlights, which we do on like our Facebook page, and the highlights from that go on our second channel too. So I was like, nope, no videos. I'm just gonna enjoy this. And it gave me a totally different perspective on what the car is, why Volvo built it, why it's cool, and I think it just brings a more unique perspective to this particular platform in this car than just a YouTuber buying a car and be like, I bought this, let's figure it out, which is awesome, and I love watching those videos, but I was like, I'm gonna do a little different this time.
Yep. How has ViVA Performance, I guess, helped you with either this car, with your V70R, or anything else?
So ViVA's been awesome to me. I've worked with Connor and George, and now you, for many years just doing stuff. I've bought stuff from them. ViVA's given me discounts on things just for being, you know, a good part of the Volvo community. And ViVA's been a huge help to me. You know, just like every other, you know, Volvo community person. Everyone's here to help, really. And that's part of the reason why I love the Volvo community as it is because it's so tight-knit. Everyone's cool. Like a great example of this, I know you're doing a ViVA video, but if you go on IPD's Facebook group, there are people like selling their own parts on there, and IPD's cool with it. And like ViVA's kind of the same way. Like everyone's here to help, and that's what I love about that. And ViVA's helped me with this car actually. If you want to come around back,
absolutely.
I have a couple of really nice carbon fiber parts that George sourced for me. So we have the side skirts for this car, which is a beautiful dry carbon. And it matches sort of the dry carbon in the center waterfall on the inside, which is really nice. So I'm gonna put these on, and then also, same thing, carbon fiber front lip. So ViVA's a huge help in helping me to find them because one, they're hard to find, and two, these are actually, these were not made for the 2016s. They're only 2017 plus. So again, even harder to find. So dealer option. Not a lot of them were made or imported, so you can still get them. ViVA has them actually, if you want like the OEM ones, or maybe George can find you an aftermarket set or something like that. But that's basically how ViVA has helped me most recently, is to give me that. They helped me on the V70R with tons of different parts, a ton of different things that I just needed and couldn't find anywhere else. ViVA definitely helped me out with, and George and Connor helped me source almost anything that I could humanly want, especially the steering wheel. The steering wheel was one of the coolest upgrades for the V70R. I don't have, I'm going to be reaching out to George soon because the steering wheel mod is one of the most underrated mods for a car, but Connor and George helped me source the steering wheel. They've totally refinished it, and it transformed the V70R that I had into just one of the most visceral and fun driving experiences because it felt like such a different car with an upgraded custom steering wheel from ViVA, so that was cool.
My last question for you, Gregson.
Yes.
What are your favorite parts about the V60 Polestar?
So there's three things about this car that I really love. One is the exhaust. It sounds amazing, stock, and it's part of the reason why I put it in the exhaust competition, because it just sounds fantastic. It's got a butterfly valve, so you can be in nice neighbor or kid sleeping mode, and you can be in, you know, raucous sleeper Volvo mode. So that's really cool to me. Second thing is these wheels. These are actually 20-inch wheels from factory, and they are custom for Polestar. You won't find them on any other car that Volvo makes. Like you always find other cars, older Volvos that you can swap wheels on and off of. But these were made for Polestars. I know a couple of people have taken these and put them on ours. They look great. One of the coolest wheels Volvo has ever made. And I just think it's funny that they threw 20s on a family wagon that's tiny. So that's really cool to me. And then the last thing is the engine, because the engine is just so cool, because it's literally the last 6 that Volvo ever made. So I really think it's such a special car in that sense that this is the last one you'll ever see from Volvo ever made as a 6, and soon the 4s will be rare too because Volvo's going all EV. So I just think it's just a really cool platform, engine, package overall. That's really what drew me to the car. I just love this car. It's fantastic. I loved my R, but this is a better car in pretty much every conceivable way except for space, and it doesn't have a manual. Every other part of the car is better.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, Gregson. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. Go ahead and shout out like shifting lanes or anything you want to talk about.
Cool. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, our channel is called Shifting Lanes, and we have a second channel. It's called Shifting Lanes 2, where we do stream highlights and personal car stuff. Our main channel is just for OEM reviews, new car primers, and if you want to learn about new cars, we actually review a ton of Volvos on that channel. So if you want, go check them out. And yeah, just follow us anywhere at Shifting Lanes.
Cool. Thank you, man. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.